In the Victorian high country, sheep farmers are now shooting their stock. The mountain cattlemen know better. They're in survival mode between the drought and the state government outlawing the use of their state and national parks. It's been overcast all day up in Benambra, where Peter Morris is now. Peter, any sign of rain up there?
Well, Mitch, we did have a shower late this afternoon with that change, but it's certainly not enough to ease the pain of the people behind me, although they are a pretty tight bunch, mountain cattlemen, mountain cattle women and farmers, but they are doing it tough. They're doing it as hard as those in the state's west. Now, you might think being up in mountain country there's plenty of water around. Well, I can tell you that there have only been really 3 decent bursts of rain here since January, and as we found out, the effects of that are devastating. The life of the mountain cattleman, but the skill of the horseman rounding up his herd is now rarely seen. Instead, it's come to this: farmers offloading stock as a last resort. 5th-generation mountain cattleman Dick Faithful never thought he'd see the day when his cows are being shipped out for bottom dollar.
Can't hang on to them, no feed, can't afford it. We've got no bush runs now, so we sort of had it.
And the heartbreaking sight of a farmer destroying his sheep. 80 lambs shot dead at this high country property because there simply isn't enough feed to go around.
You've got to put your head down, go in and do it. You could stand there and think about options of how not to do it, but the bottom line is they've got to go to make room for other sheep. It's as simple as that.
This is the Dargo High Plains, and back in 2003, this whole area was destroyed by bushfire. At that time, the state government decided the mountain cattlemen could no longer bring their stock in to graze here as they'd done for the past 150 years. But the farmers now say that there's so much dry fuel that if there was a bushfire, it would never be stopped.
And if you have grazing, that fire is much less likely to occur. And if it did occur, it would be a much lighter burn.
In the last 6 weeks, much of what the mountain cattlemen use for grazing has dried out. Many dams are now empty. Creeks and streams, which should normally be free-flowing, are down to a trickle and in some cases completely dry. Phil Maguire has spent his life grazing his cattle through state and national parks. Now he's told it can no longer happen.
The cattle are going back. This is an Australian heritage and an Australian culture. We're not going to stand by and see it wound up and destroyed. There's been enough of that already.
It is the be-all and end-all, there's no doubt about that.
But as it gets tougher, the community sticks together more than ever, determined they'll get through it one way or the other.
These are the blokes that have lived here all their life. I've been here 5 minutes, and, mate, you feel for these people. They work as hard. Peter Morris, 7 News.